I'm Lil Joe, and these are my Ultra Instinct Goku short pants. Today we're gonna learn how to talk with rolled models. Today we're gonna learn how to talk to our role models. Instinct that I'm short pants. These are my Ultra Instinct Goku pants. Okay, so I've always been a really big fan of yours, and I was just wondering exactly what's it like being the strongest guy in like the whole place? Like what does it feel like to you? You know, I don't know if you know, but I'm a huge fan of pretty much everything that you've done. I was just wondering, you know, like what is it like having the weight of the world? Have the weight of the world on your shoulder. What's that like for you? Yeah, it's really interesting. Alright, so I don't know if you know this, but you're actually gonna grow up to become one of the whole strongest guys in the whole universe. I mean, it's pretty crazy, you know, you're just a little guy with you're just a little monkey boy coming from another planet, but I don't know if you know this, but you're gonna be really, I mean, you're pretty tough right now, but you're gonna be a really tough guy real soon, you know that?
Confused Goku.
Pretty much, you aren't exactly like the strongest guy, you kind of have always been something like second best, so what does that feel like you kind of actually not be, you know, Goku ends up, he is really strong and he kind of always is breaking down the walls. What's that like for you when you end up actually not ending up being actually the strongest guy? What is that like for you to experience? Yeah, that's really interesting. You know, I have a lot of respect for you. I actually kind of thought that you were going to be a little bit taller, and you know, you're kind of on this platform, so you know, I was expecting you to be kind of a little bit, you know, not like huge guy, but maybe a little bit taller than like, you know, that somebody that's about to go for high school or something. So you've pretty much always been like pretty evil guy, you know, like there's lots of things that people kind of don't, you never really want to, people don't trust you exactly. Say, I know you're living kind of like in a bean in hell, I don't know exactly, but it's been really, you've had a really long time of not being a really nice guy, but you ended up doing some kind of nice guy things, so I don't know exactly if you are really not such an evil guy, and I just was wondering what you had to say about this, how you think that you are a bad guy, or maybe what is your big plan? You know, I think that's really interesting, this kind of stuff that, you know, you've had to beat so many bad guys. There have been so many kind of really bad guys that you've had to beat them up. And I was wondering how do your muscles feel after you kind of are beating up all these bad guys? Are you tired? Is it just you want to snack a lot, or what's that kind of like for you? I mean, yeah, it's pretty crazy. I know. You're gonna get to eat so much good food, and nobody's gonna know who you are. What do you think about that? Yeah, that's really interesting. In my opinion, I don't know if exactly that you are the most powerful man in the whole world, but I think that if the kind of the right guy walks into your door and tries to rub you the wrong way, you know, what do you have to say about that? And you have a very powerful son, and he came to you from the future. What's that like to have a boy that meets you from your future, and then he comes back and then tells you about that he beat the guy that you are really scared of? What's that like? Yeah, that's what I can't believe that. You know, that is so crazy. I can't believe that you would really. That's how that sort of thing would go. Alright, so this is kind of like your most famous move, the Kamehameha House or Kamehameha. I think this pose that you do, it's like kind of there's some huge sort of energy that's coming from your hands. And there's a couple of times that you actually, I think, save the whole world with this thing you do with your hands. So what kind of do you have to say about that? Well, that's so powerful coming from a guy like you. You know, I'm always wondering how exactly it is that you kind of find all this power. I didn't know if it was because that you have such a good diet or because you have really good friends that kind of help you with figuring out how to do these moves, but I was wondering exactly how many times do you think you have done your Kamehamehas since? Alright, thanks. So that's really amazing answer. I could have thought of something better myself. Alright, so you're kind of like one of the strongest, most kind of evil guys. You're like really, you know, you were crying when you woke up and you're just really angry all the time. So why? That's really interesting, and I'm really curious as to exactly how you're gonna kind of deal with these. There's two guys and blue hair, and they're gonna try to punch you really hard. I was wondering exactly what your plan is to do with them. That's really smart. I was hoping that's actually exactly what you would do. So, all right, so you're kind of like one of the most craziest superheroes that are around there. So I'm kind of always really impressed with all your moves, and I was just wondering exactly where you learned them. Wow, that's really interesting. I also was hoping that we could get a little bit of insight on exactly why you wanted to make all these movies, because I know that you're making movies, and I know that you do a lot of comic books, so I just want to know exactly why you want to move to the silver screen. Wow, that's probably one of the more interesting answers that I've heard about this sort of thing. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your time. I want to thanks for your time, and I'm Little Joe, and these are my Goku Pants, and that's how you talk to kind of your role models. So, so thanks. I want to say thanks for your time, and I hope that you don't ever forget how. Whoa! God, nightmare! Nightmare! Dick.